This leak of financial documents from Africa shows how a private bank in the Democratic Republic of Congo was used to channel at least $138 million of public funds to former President Joseph Kabila's associates. That platform to protect whistleblowers in Africa was a Paris-based anti-corruption group, and France's Mediapart obtained over 3.5 million documents over a 10-year period. Now, to talk us through that is Jean Boisse, who's an African affairs analyst. Jean, very good morning. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Congo holdup is the biggest leak of sensitive data in African history. What insights do you have into it?
Good morning, Igor, and to your viewers. Well, I think when we say Congo holdup, we could also speak about Congo scandal. And we could go further and further with regard to Congo. And the same old story start again. What we would say that the holdup started since King Leopold II. And until today, Joseph Kabila has just walked into the footsteps of his predecessors that are namely King Leopold II and Mobutu Sese Seko. And to say the least, if Mobutu had embezzled between 1 billion to 5 billion, but within the space time of 32 years, Kabila has done so in a record time. Within 18 years, it is estimated by Forbes writer Richard Miniter that the wealth of Joseph Kabila alone about 13 years ago was $2 billion US. So when we are talking today about 100 million, it doesn't make sense to me, because we could also go on speaking about the millions of deaths that have occurred in the DRC Congo. Let's talk finances, but at the same time, the cost of the genocide that has prevailed in the Congo.
I suppose one of the things that we certainly would like to put a finger on is, how do banks play a role in the movement or cleaning of these funds, if you will?
Well, Mr. Kabila has benefited from the UN, he has benefited from the banks, and he has benefited from a US investment bank. And by creating his own banks and his own entities so that he controlled the mines, we must be speaking about the fact that Congo is the richest country on earth, while it is today the poorest. Its citizens are living below $2 a day. So, which means that the money that is supposed to build the infrastructure used to go into the state coffer. Not used to go, but because until today, that is what is happening. He is the former president, but he still earns $680,000 monthly. That's a shame for a person who's no longer holding an office. I wonder whether the president in any other African country are earning that much.
$680,000. This is legislated, and this is what the government of the DRC pays him every single month as a former president.
Exactly. That's the amount they pay him, and unashamedly.
Goodness me.
So what they have done is to scant investment, infrastructure, job creation, social services, and nothing has been done for the population. Instead, we have a population, including us here in the diaspora, because I speak as a Congolese citizen, although I'm an African, but the entire Africa now needs to hold all these leaders into account. And if we speak about the Kabila family, we could compare it to the Gupta family here in South Africa that had embezzled and captured the state. In the same way, the Kabila family, Janet, Zoe, so-called sister and twin sister and brothers, had also embezzled the Congo in such a way that Janet Kabila, for instance, was named in the Panama Papers, and she was the one who was liaising with the passport. And today, as the diaspora, many Congolese don't have an identity document. We don't have a passport. So we are prisoners of the Kabila family.
Now let's talk a little bit about localized governance and our own accountability as Africans, right down to the respective countries. Now, this organization that has come up with this sensitive information, this data that they've collected, is a Paris-based organization. It is not a localized organization in the DRC. How do we capacitate individuals in respective territories to deal or to fight against these levels of corruption?
Well, I do think that as the citizens of a country, it is about time that we create innovative way of controlling and holding into account our leaders. And the media, you have a great role to play, and they should be giving you enough money so that you have the investigative manners to go and investigate these leaders, those that are in public offices at the mayoral level, in the wards, and so on and so forth, not just at the top level, but it starts with those that are mayor in a given village, in a given city. So it is very important. And the only way to do that is as citizen to create lobby that will hold the people into account, including those that are in the parliament and who often protect those that are in power, the executives.
Now let's talk a little about possible double standards, certainly by international financial institutions, right? It would appear that where it pleases them, they will move illicit funds to their benefit. However, where human rights abuses are occurring or similar, they will put a stop to it. What is your reaction to that?
My reaction would ask the viewers and yourself to read the Imperialism Charter, which was drafted in before 1998 and was amended. It reads in its preamble, first of all, divide to rule. But in one of its provisions, it says clearly that where their interest lies, there are no human rights. So today, that's one of the things for which we are captured by the UN, the Bretton Woods institutions that would come with funding, and they know quite well that they are funding mainly mineral-rich countries. Let's just go to 1990. You might remember that at the same level, China, Vietnam, Indonesia, Singapore were equally poor as African countries. But today we are counting them as emerging economies. And why are they emerging economies? Because they put the structure in place in such a way that corruption and all ills of the society would not prevail.
Jean, we seem to be struggling with this connection. I'm going to have to thank you for your time this morning. Jean Bossa, African Affairs Analyst, speaking to us about the challenges in the DRC, where $138 million has been siphoned allegedly by former President Joseph Kabila. Now, coming